So when it comes to storytelling, what would you share as a nugget of success? You've talked with lots of security professionals. When it comes to storytelling, what can help them?
Well, I mean, if you're starting from, let's just say if it's a fairly common one, could be a cybersecurity or identity professional, and they're seeing that potentially, machine identity management could be an issue in their environment. And they want to raise the alarm bells, but they know that the CEO and the board, they're like, what is this stuff? We don't really get it. So they have to attach it to a larger issue. Now, again, outages is a fairly common one.
Great business value if we can stop that. Millions of dollars.
Exactly. Like there was one bank many years ago, they had a certificate expire. It was actually a distrust issue, but I won't go into the details on that one. But this was millions of dollars when a wholesale banking site went down, customers couldn't get access to it. That is cold, hard dollars that's just not coming into the organization. And so that one, because it can be mapped to a key performance indicator of revenue, you could use that as an example. So I usually would help professionals build that business case, attaching to a larger issue. Nowadays, when we see stats coming from Venafi research, coming from CyberArk research, the 68% of these machines having access to sensitive information. Hundreds of thousands of them. I mean, there's been so many certificate-related breaches and outages that we've seen. Microsoft with Teams a few years ago. There's more and more of these. ASUS with the code signing issue, when an attacker got into their whole pipeline and was able to sign stuff with their stuff. I mean, they're weaponizing digital trust, as I mentioned.
This is using machine identities as a weapon.
Exactly. Yes. So I think they have more proof points now to be able to construct a use case. And my advice and guidance would be every organization has its nuances and they might have their hot buttons. So if the organization or the professional believes that, maybe outages is the angle, so I can get the attention of the CEO and the board, then I would say use that one, right? But maybe there's others.
And I think that's a challenge then for us as in security professionals. Bring the dollar, the euro, the pound, the yen business case. Stopping outages, that's a business value. Driving automation, modernizing for speed in the cloud so we can go safe, that's a business value that we actually can put a number to. And also go figure that developers are going to love us, go faster, safer.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you asked any CEO, do you have a machine identity management problem or do you have a revenue problem? Which one do you think they'll say?
I definitely know they've got a revenue problem.
Right? Revenue, costs, etc. Right. And so we need to connect that.
Right. But just dots. Like we've got identities for our customers, wow, the competitive advantage is machines, it's software, it's cloud. That's why machine identity is so important.
Exactly.
So David, what's the future for David Madi? What are you working on that really excites you that you'd love to share where you're headed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still very excited about this industry. I'm working, doing some PKI work, but I also advise a lot of organizations. So one like Crypto 4A, which I know is a part of the Machine Identity Development Fund.
Yeah.
Great and success. So I work with closely with those guys, advising them, doing post-quantum, having that future vision of, hey, post-quantum is coming, but crypto agility is also important. And a lot of our technology, certainly when we look at the back-end infrastructure, it needs to be modernized for an elastic cloud, hybrid multi-cloud world. And so Crypto 4A is the company, very exciting. I think they were definitely early, but now we're starting to see some really, really good success, some good use cases out there. And again, that's always the case. You can have a very cool tool set, but are there actual problems you're solving? So working with them on that. And a few other areas where I'm working with the Accountable Digital Identity Group. So it's all about kind of decentralized identity, bringing some standards in there. These are coming from the same group that did FIDO, Fast Identity Online. They're looking at bringing together more interoperability with decentralized identities, which, by the way, is human-centric right now. But there's no reason why we can't take some of those principles there as well. So as you know, I always like to keep busy. I think you and I are very similar that way. I can't just be one track mind. I'm in post-quantum stuff, NFT stuff, blockchain security, And I'm even doing some other kind of CISO roundtables and events. That always gets me excited, is certainly a technology, but talking to CISOs and CIOs and really hearing what they're struggling with. So, I've got my fingers in all sorts of different areas, evangelizing all these things, but machine identity management is definitely one that's very close to my heart.
It's amazing to look back. We now have CIOs, CISOs telling the story. They're two actors on a network. They're people, machines, just like our customers have identities. Machines have identities. They're very different. And our business is stopping outages. We're eliminating complexity with a control plane for machine identity management, and it saves our business money, enables us to go faster. That must really be exciting from where you led the industry, where that wasn't even talked about before.
No, it wasn't talked about. And again, it was this old dusty thing that was in the basement, PKI, key management. But now as the world has digitally transformed, to my earlier point in saying what excites me, all these things have to fall into place to really have a securely enabled business. And by the way, a securely enabled business that's trustworthy. So I just want to mention one other thing. So you said, what do I think about the future? I'm going to talk about cybersecurity here for a moment. Cybersecurity has always been focused on CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And Gartner years ago threw in S, safety, right? For physical digital systems, but let's put that one aside. And actually, you know what? Let's put availability aside for a moment. CI, confidentiality and integrity. The market for the last several decades has been very much focused on confidentiality, right? I know with your background, working in the crypto world, right? Yeah, encryption, right? Protect our data. SSL, TLS, that's what PKI was mostly used for, right? Well, what about I? So we're entering the next phase where even NIST is talking about engineering trustworthy, secure systems. So the security, in my mind, you can map that to C. But integrity now, if a machine created a new spreadsheet, created a new document, can you trust that? If a human went in to create a new presentation or something very critical, can you trust that? So again, machine identities and the technology that is the concrete and steel foundation of them, keys and certificates, can be used to sign code, sign documents, do all these things to ensure that the business can trust the digital artifacts that they have. Otherwise, how can you trust it? This is one thing with NFTs that bothers me, but that's another story.
All right, and one of the things we know for certain, I don't know about the NFT market, but one of the things we know for certain, there are only going to be more attacks on machine identities. The world has only more uncertainties to the future. And that idea then of integrity, of resilience around machine identities as we go to the cloud is only more important. Actually, we're delivering more value if we're building in that control plane for machine identity management. We're building today, delivering visible value, stopping outages, driving modernization. But to the future, yeah, that resilience, that integrity is, I think, going to be put to the test.
Exactly. And having that control plane fabric, leverage open standards, developers can use APIs. We need to make it easy for them, to your point.
Yep,
developers,
fast, secure.
Exactly, fast, secure, automated. So all of these things really are, I think they're coming together now. And you know what, Kevin? Organizations are doing machine identity management. They're just not calling it that. And so I think there's still a lot more opportunity to start to move this forward.
Well, it's going to be great. We'll be back here in a few more years, and we'll sit back and look at all the advancements, and also be able to look ahead too. So David, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
us.
Kevin.
It's always
been a pleasure
great to be with you. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.